Moving a household can seem overwhelming. Years of stuff to pack up, plus the logistics, hiring movers and the costs associated with that. But I've got some good moving hacks and tips from clients and friends that have moved to this area from out of state. And that's coming up, so stay tuned. I'm Jana Classy. This is my husband, Paul, and we are realtors here in the Eastern Panhandle. An organizing expert friend of mine who moved here recently said this: there's 3 essential things to do when you move. 1, pack a suitcase or 2 of first night items. 2, pack a parts box. And 3, label everything. First night items are things you'll need for that first night in your new home. The last thing you want to do after a long day of transporting yourself and your stuff is to dig through boxes for towels or a set of sheets. So, toothbrushes, soap, towels, sheets, pajamas, medicines, and anything your kids are used to having at bedtime should go into those suitcases. Also, food for pets, and maybe the most important, at least for me, a coffee pot. And then put that in your car instead of the moving truck. Also, keep birth certificates, passports, insurance policies with you and not in a box for the moving truck. The parts box is for tools, drills, screwdrivers, screws, stuff like that, whatever you need to assemble beds and any furniture that had to be disassembled so it could be moved. If there's specific parts that go with a piece of furniture, put it in a baggie and label it. And it's a good idea to throw in some paper towels and a bottle of Windex so you can wipe down shelving or countertops if needed. The parts box should be the last thing to go in the moving truck and the first thing off. Put it on the kitchen counter so it's there and you don't have to dig through boxes looking for scissors or a Phillips screwdriver. And then the third thing, label everything in detail so that it's easy to read and there's no guessing about what is in each box and what room it goes to. It's easier to do this if you pack one room at a time. And also, each room should have a box with a red star. Red star boxes have important documents for items that you'll want to unpack first. If you have a home office, this is especially helpful. It will save time accessing active files and things you need to get up and running. And here's some other tips. If you're hiring movers, schedule early, about 8 weeks. Good movers get booked up and vet them. A colleague of mine who moved cross-country learned this the hard way. She interviewed several movers, and one was about half of what the others cost. She read the reviews on their website, which were all great, so she didn't do any further research because saving all that money was just too appealing. Moving day came. They picked up her stuff, and so she and her family drove to their new home, expecting the movers to be there about the same time. They didn't show up. So the next day she called and was told they were waiting for another load to transport with her stuff and predicted it would be about 14 days. So they made a trip to Walmart to buy paper plates, sleeping bags, clothes, not to mention being without a TV. And that was the week that Yellowstone premiered, and she was really looking forward to settling back in her new home and watching that. That moving company's stipulation that they would deliver after they had another load was in the fine print, which, like a lot of us, she didn't read. They didn't mention it to her, but they had it in the contract. Here's a few other good ideas. Take pictures of electronic connections and what's plugged into what. That'll make it easier to set up in your new home. If you don't have enough time to gather free moving boxes, there's a website, usedcardboxes.com. They deliver in 2 or 3 days. The boxes are used, but they are in good shape. Another thing, make sure the utilities are on and in your name. It's a good idea to deal with that a week or so before moving. And finally, it's a good idea to make an emergency plan. What if things go wrong? Arrangements. So if something falls through the cracks, you aren't blindsided. One worst case scenario is that the movers don't show up. If they don't, first step is to contact the moving company and find out when they will be there. Could be they are running late. If you can't reach the moving company or they want more money to show up, then it's likely a moving scam, so contact the police. And have a couple of backup mover phone numbers in your pocket, ones that will take last minute moves. I Googled last minute movers and several companies did come up. There's less of a chance of this happening if you do your research to ensure you're dealing with a reputable company. And be sure to have enough moving insurance so you're covered for any losses. Make a list and take pictures of all your stuff. This will help the moving company should some of your items go missing. They can retrace their steps, check with other customers to see if items can be located. It'll also help you determine if you need additional moving insurance to what is offered through your movers or home insurance. Another possible snag is that settlement on your new home is delayed for some reason, which happens sometimes. When you are in the planning stage and choosing movers, take that possible delay into consideration and have a backup plan for short-term storage. Something like pods is a good idea, just in case you're stuck for a few days without a place to unload your furniture. You may need to stay in a hotel during that time. If you map out a plan of action, it's going to be easier to deal with if it happens. What you could do is what another client of ours did. They were retiring, moving south. They got rid of most furniture, gave some to their kids, the rest by an auction and garage sale. They kept only a few things they wanted and used the money they saved on movers to buy new stuff, which sounds like a good idea to me. You can download a moving checklist on our website along with the utility contacts for all 3 counties here. The website is meetmeinthepanhandle.com/moving. Also, I did a video about this area. It should be in the little box beside me here. So that should give you some good information. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you next week. Bye.